I'm Mara Schiavocampo with breaking news out of Los Angeles. A handful of protesters in the Crenshaw district of southern Los Angeles have broken away from an otherwise peaceful Trayvon Martin rally and can be seen assaulting passersby and destroying private property. Helicopter aerials show at least half a dozen people running in the streets, breaking into buildings and apparently stealing bicycles. The LAPD says they are not on tactical alert at this time, but they do have a heavy presence in some areas. Now, you can occasionally see police cars and officers in the street, but from the shots that we've seen this evening, it's hard to tell just how effective they've been able to be in stemming these disruptions. Now, we're looking at aerials from this activity that's taking place. As we mentioned, it seems to be a couple dozen people, as far as we can tell, really scattered about, it causing some civil disturbances. Looks like they're going into stores. Apparently, they have been taking bikes, which would make sense with some of the video we've seen this evening, because we've seen a lot of people riding around on bicycles, so that at least would be consistent with those reports. You can see there a number of people on bicycles and some on foot. Now, the reports that we're getting is that this group broke apart from a peaceful protest related to the Trayvon Martin verdict that took place earlier in the week. We don't see any other signs necessarily of this protest being related to the Trayvon Martin case. For example, no signs people are carrying, no chanting, things like that. But as far as we know, this is an outpouring from a previous protest that took place. There have been protests taking place all across the country since that verdict was announced Saturday evening. The protests have been by and large peaceful. They've taken place in a number of cities, from New York to San Francisco to parts of Florida. We've seen thousands of people taking to the streets, peacefully protesting that verdict. What we're looking at now is video from earlier in this evening. Again, you can see groups of, looks like mostly men, running through the streets. This is in the Crenshaw district of Los Angeles. We have heard reports that they have taken bicycles, which perhaps would explain why so many people are on bicycles. We do see one individual there look like he was getting ready to throw a rock. This is tape. We don't know what happened with that, if he did in fact throw that and damage any private property. Again, we're seeing groups of people, an outpouring, or I should say a extension, a breaking off of an otherwise peaceful protest related to the Trayvon Martin ruling. Looks like a couple dozen individuals running through the street, riding bicycles. We've heard reports of property damage in those areas. We have not at this point heard any reports of any injuries or any confirmed reports of property damage. Again, the LAPD says they are not on tactical alert at this time. We have seen in the video that we've been looking at some individuals setting up barricades, those metal barricades and barriers that police put up during protests and parades and the like. We've seen some of those being erected. It's unclear if that's part of the police response or perhaps that's just individual businesses trying to protect their property. We have seen some police cars in this video, but they seem to be, frankly, very casual about the whole thing. We've seen maybe one or two isolated police cars driving around slowly near these groups. We have not seen any large mobilization of police officers in response to this activity that we're seeing here. Again, if you're just joining us, we are bringing you breaking news from the Los Angeles area. We have a handful of protesters who are in the Crenshaw district, that's in southern Los Angeles. It appears that they've broken away from a peaceful Trayvon Martin rally and that they've been seen disturbing passersby and destroying private property. I can only speak to the video that we've seen this evening. It looks like they've gone into a Walmart and they've come out with some things. We don't know if they are taking those things. We don't know if they've paid for them. We don't know what the situation there is, but we are seeing groups of people going in and out of stores. We have heard reports of private property being destroyed, but again, we haven't seen any of that in this video. Helicopter aerials show at least half a dozen people running into the streets, breaking into buildings, and apparently stealing bicycles. You can see there are a number of individuals there riding bicycles. We've been seeing that in a lot of the video. So if perhaps those reports of stolen bicycles are true, that would explain why so many of these individuals are on bikes. The LAPD says they are not on tactical alert, but they do have a heavy presence in some areas. Of the video that we've seen, frankly, we have not seen a heavy presence. We've seen one or two police cars responding pretty casually to this, just driving around these groups. We will definitely keep you posted on these developments as they unfold. Stay with NBC throughout the night, MSNBC throughout the night, for the very latest on this developing story.
Right now. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening, Chris. Thank you.